Hi guys, this is Stan. Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's do something a bit different and talk about a fantasy book subscription that I have been following for over half a year, and it is the Goldsboro GSFF. In this video, of course, I will talk about what this fantasy book subscription is, the pricing and investment value of it, each of the books I have received since the beginning of 2024, my thoughts and concerns, and at last, my personal goals about this fantasy sub. GSFF in full is Goldsboro Sci-Fi and Fantasy Fellowship. It is a UK-based fantasy sub and they ship worldwide. The book is a new release with a choice of special edition from the publisher. They always do a stencil edge and they sometimes may redesign the hardcover but not always the cover itself. The book is signed and numbered first edition too. If you are interested in this subscription after watching this video, congratulations! But now they are currently full and you have to sign up to the waitlist by emailing them. First of all, let's talk about the pricing of this book subscription. In the beginning of the year, it was £23.99, but now it is £24.99 plus shipping. I usually pick up my order from the shop so I don't have to pay extra postage. So I think it is still a fair price to get a number signed special edition. The limitation here is that Goldsboro only got 2 physical shops in the UK and they are both in the south. One in London, one in Brighton, which might be quite difficult for some of you if you're not from those areas. If you can't do the pickup and you have to pay for the postage, which is usually around £5, the price of it would easily go up to £30 in the UK. I don't know since when I have this thought in my mind. I think paying £30 for a special edition is actually quite a lot. Yes, the book itself is still numbered and signed, but essentially we are still reading the same thing. I would say it is quite stupid to get a special edition if the cost is so high. Compared to other fantasy and sci-fi book subscription in the UK, Enigma Crate is only £20 plus postage. Very Loot is the same price. Slightly higher, we have Log Library, which is around £22 plus shipping. Currently, the book subscription that costs the same as Goldsboro is the Ainstone one. Looking across all the SFF book subscription in the UK, GSFF is definitely on the upper market. Let's say if you use up all your skips, which I will talk about it later in the video, and you will end up with 8 books in a year, it would be nearly £200. You may wanna be careful and consider how much this bill gonna be. Maybe a little bit out of context here, I think the price for special edition has slightly gone up in this year. In the beginning, when I look around all those bookshops that would do special edition in the UK, I would think that, oh, I just need to pay £1 or £2 more to get a more special book. But now when I look up again on all these places, oh my god, the price has gone up significantly and I have to pay £30 for a single book. With the increasing cost of living, to be honest, I think that I have to be smart to choose what book subscription or what special edition to buy. I guess some of you watching this video can relate to this issue. You want more books, but oh my god, the price has gone up. Speaking of money, maybe we can talk about the investment value of this book subscription. I think it might be on their old GSFF website. They say that you can secure a certain percentage of investment in the long run. But to me, it really down to the titles you're gonna sell. In the past, I did sell some of my GSFF books from my unhaul. Only 1 or 2 of them can sell for a higher price. I can even tell you I can make a profit of maybe 20%. Here, I want to stress that I never sell the books from this book subscription for an extraordinary amount of money. At this point, you may be thinking, I'm still selling the books for money, I can make an extra profit from it, but the fact is, majority of them, those that are not hype or not as popular, I have to sell them below cost. So overall, when you consider the profit you're gonna make and also the loss, I won't suggest you to join this book subscription just for the investment value. Also, don't forget that GSFF members enjoys a 15% discount over the whole Goldsboro website. So if you're into books not just like fantasy or sci-fi, if you're into like signed edition or Goldsboro exclusive, go for it, go join this book subscription, it's gonna be great. After the discount, the price for a signed copy is usually so close to a standard one. So I would say that it's gonna be worth the money if you're gonna get some more books from them. As for the skip policy, I believe that you're gonna have a total of 4 skips in a year, meaning that if you use a skip in September 2024, you're gonna have 3 more skips until September 2025 to renew it. If you watched this far already, don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss anything from me. Finally, we can move on to talk about all the books that I have received since the beginning of 2024. I will briefly talk about them, their genre and my rating. For a more detailed review, feel free to jump into the next month's wrap-up video because I wanna keep up with them, and I usually finish them after the month I've got it, if that makes any sense to you. In January, I have Voyage of the Damned by Francis White. It is a standalone, and on Goodreads it is fantasy, mystery, and romance. In this world of Concordia, every heir of a province got a special power known as the Blessing. To celebrate the peace between them, they embark a voyage across the sea to a sacred mountain. Ganymedes, or Fish, our main character, got a secret. He got no power at all. What everyone didn't expect on this journey is every heir gonna be murdered one by one. So our main character, Ganymedes, has to hide his secrets and at the same time play the detective and find out the truth. It is a story about Ganymedes confronting his past, his fear, and also understanding the deep political difference in this world. This book got romance in it and support LGBT+. I enjoyed reading this one and gave it 4 stars. In February, I have The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. On Goodreads, it is fantasy, fiction, magical realism, and time travel. This standalone is a low fantasy that is set in the New York City. Our main character got a magical book that can allow her to open a door and be anywhere, anytime in this world. But this book is not the only magical book. Some dangerous individuals want to collect these books for their own purpose. Luckily, Casey gonna meet Drummond, a guy who wanna keep all these books safe. Together with Casey's best friend, Izzy, they're gonna have a crazy journey that is full of time traveling. What I do like about this book is that the author has utilized every detail of it. Every question you're gonna have along the way will get an answer by the end of it. So I also gave this one 4 stars. In March, I have Voultage by Chris and Jen Sugden. On Goodreads, it is sci-fi, mystery, and steampunk. This book was set in a reimagined steampunk London in the 19th century. We follow a retired police called Fleet and Kara as our detectives. This book begins with a mysterious kidnapping of a man. Fleet and Kara were asked by a woman who witnessed it to find out what is going on behind. At the same time, there were a series of impossible bank robberies. So Kara and Fleet will find clues along the way, and it seems that these 2 cases are so closely related. This book is easy, fun, and humorous. But in terms of the mystery, I think the case is a bit too easy to crack, and the direction is quite clear along the way. So I gave this one a 3 star. Looking at the ending of it, it looks like there's gonna be more books in this series. In April, I have this special one with a slipcase, and it is Dragon Rider by Martha Tamaru, the first book of the Soulbound saga. On Goodreads, it is high fantasy with dragons. Jai is an orphan from the leader of a failed rebellion, and now he is a steward to an old king. With an arranged marriage between the prince of this empire and the princess from the Dance Kingdom, the princess brought along the dragons. But nobody would expect a coup in this celebration, and nobody would expect Jai gonna be bound to a dragon. With this, Jai has to learn the magic to become a warrior, to seek revenge for his family and his people. I enjoy the political setting in this world. Every nation got a secret agenda behind them. The magic system and the Soulbound is quite interesting. We got different levels of powers. As the first book of a series, I gave this one 4 stars. In May, I have 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland, first book of the Broken Blades series. On Goodreads, it is fantasy romance. If you know me, if you watch my videos, you will know what I'm gonna say about this one. This book we're gonna follow 6 dead serious assassins or killers, gonna work through lies and deceptions and to take down the king in Yusan. I didn't like the convenient romance in this book. The writing is average and the ending is meh, so I gave this one 2 stars. Very quickly, coming to the end, in June, I have Lord of the Empty Isles by Jules Arbeaux. On Goodreads, it is fantasy, sci-fi, and cure. In this standalone, we're gonna follow Remy as a main character. His brother Cameron was an investigator, but he was cursed by a criminal leader called Adrian, and later Cameron passed away. With 5 years of preparation, Remy is ready and wanna return this favor to Adrian, but instead they are both tied and cursed together. To slow down this curse, Remy has to stay close with Adrian, and through this, he will know the truth that will shake his perception about this world. Unfortunately, I couldn't connect to the story and I found the pacing a bit too slow, so I end up DNFing this one. In terms of the genre, they are all adult fantasy with a good mix of sci-fi and fantasy. 4 of them are fantasy and 2 of them are sci-fi. 3 of them are LGBT+ inclusive. I mean, it is a SFF sub and I find the ratio just right for me. Compared to before when I first joined this subscription, it was October to December last year and they are all fantasy romance. Now, if you're looking for a book subscription that got a good balance of sci-fi and fantasy, or a good representation of variety, or if you want to expand your reading taste, want to try something that is not widely discussed when they first publish, I think GSFF is good for you. If you're looking at the quality of the books, I would say it is a huge hit and miss. For a more detailed reviews, once again go to my monthly wrap-up. Across 6 months in 2024, 3 of them I do really like, but for the rest, meh, and I even have to DNF one of it. So I do have a very mixed feeling about the quality of this subscription. I think part of the reason is down to the genre. For example, fantasy romance or sci-fi is not something that I usually read, I usually enjoy, so I tend to have a lower rating for them. To be fair, for those that I do enjoy from this subscription, not every single one of them is like widely discussed in this community, which means that I don't think I would hear about it by any chance. They are also books that are quite unlikely I would get from the shop because my eyes would always be on those epic fantasy. So I think this book subscription is still great for me to find books that I didn't expect to love, to take myself out of my comfort zone completely. If you check on Goodreads for the ratings of the books I have just mentioned, majority of them got over 4 stars, which I think is impressive. Or even for the worst, it's still 3.8 stars and it is not too bad for me. Now there is one major concern for me about this book subscription, which is the continuity. Let's take other book subscription as an example. Inumocrate did Empire of the Damned by J. Christoph for their September 2021 box. So when the sequel, Empire of the Vampire, released, they can do a special edition of it. For GSFF, I wouldn't say that they can't do the same, but sometimes when you get a Goldsboro exclusive, they may not be able to do a matching set for the sequels. One recent example is The Blackton Thief by Christopher Bulleman. I need to think about how to say that name right. It is not from their subscription, but when the sequel, The Doctor Wars, came out, Goldsboro didn't have any news about them doing a special edition of it. Then people asked the author on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. He replied that there's not gonna be one from Goldsboro. I am no expert here, but many people believe that the reason behind is that there is no deal with the publisher about the sequels. So even though you got a special edition of the first book from Goldsboro, you are not guaranteed to have a matching special edition set. So if you want to have a whole set of books that is in the same edition, you may want to consider this point. At last, let's talk about what I would do with my GSFF for the rest of the year. It is very simple, I won't skip any books. I want to do another Goldsboro GSFF review by the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025. At that time, I'm going to have 12 books to talk about, do another very honest review about it, and plan what I would do in 2025. At this point, if I don't have to do that honest review by the end of the year, what will I do? I will probably utilize my gifts much better. After subscribing for over half a year, I think I know what book I'm gonna like, what book I'm not. If I see fantasy romance, I will probably skip it. If it is sci-fi, I may need to read the review from those who have read the arc and see will I still go for it. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you will find this one useful if you are considering this subscription, or if you want to see what this subscription can offer to you. So if you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye.